Yuki Tanaka, a geologist with a penchant for the inexplicable, found herself in an unusual situation. Her seismic sensors, usually employed to map subterranean fault lines, were now picking up an anomaly that defied all logic. A perfectly smooth, cylindrical void, appearing as if by magic, 60 meters below the existing Tokyo subway system. This was not a natural phenomenon, nor was it a known human construction. She reported it immediately, but the bureaucratic wheels turned slowly. Days turned into a week, and the void remained an enigma. Yuki, however, was not one to wait. Armed with a portable sonar scanner and a healthy dose of curiosity, she descended into the maintenance shaft, the air thick with the smell of damp concrete and stale oil. The deeper she went, the more insistent the readings became. Finally, she stood at the edge of the void. It was exactly as the sensors had indicated, a perfectly smooth, dark tunnel disappearing into the earth. There were no drill marks, no signs of excavation, just an unnerving, polished surface that seemed to absorb the light from her headlamp. It was as if a giant, impossibly precise drill had simply passed through the earth, leaving this perfect passage in its wake. Hesitantly, Yuki extended a gloved hand. The surface was cool to the touch, almost unnaturally so. It felt like polished obsidian, but with a strange, almost organic give to it. She tapped it with her hammer. The sound was dull, as if the material itself was absorbing the impact. This was no rock, no known metal. Her equipment registered a faint, rhythmic pulse emanating from within the tunnel. It was too regular to be geological, too subtle to be mechanical. It was alive. Over the next few days, Yuki returned, each time with more sophisticated equipment. She discovered that the tunnel extended for kilometers, branching off in multiple directions, forming a complex network beneath the city. The pulse grew stronger the further she ventured. She began to document her findings, sending encrypted reports to a select group of trusted colleagues, but the scientific community was, as expected, skeptical. The idea of a vast, artificial tunnel system appearing overnight, without a trace of its construction, was too outlandish. One evening, as she was preparing to ascend, a section of the tunnel wall shimmered. A faint light pulsed, and the smooth surface seemed to ripple, as if disturbed by an unseen current. Yuki froze, her heart pounding. The pulse from within the tunnel intensified, a deep, resonant thrum that vibrated through her bones. Then a section of the wall, no larger than a doorway, dissolved into a swirling vortex of light. It was not a violent storm, but a gentle, inviting swirl, like water flowing down a drain. The rhythmic pulse seemed to beckon her, a silent invitation. Fear warred with an insatiable scientific curiosity. This was an opportunity, a discovery that could redefine humanity's understanding of its own planet, perhaps even the universe. She took a deep breath, checked her comms, and stepped into the light. The transition was instantaneous. One moment she was in the cold, damp earth of Tokyo. The next, she was standing in a vast, luminous cavern. The air was warm and smelled faintly of ozone and something akin to blooming jasmine. The walls of the cavern were not rock, but the same smooth, dark material as the tunnels, glowing with an internal, soft blue light. The rhythmic pulse was now a symphony, a complex interplay of tones that seemed to resonate with her very being. In the center of the cavern, a colossal structure rose from the floor, a crystalline lattice of light and energy, pulsing with the same rhythm as the tunnels. It was beautiful, terrifying, and utterly alien. As she approached the structure, holographic projections flickered into existence around her. They depicted celestial bodies, intricate geometric patterns, and what appeared to be biological forms, unlike anything she had ever seen. The projections weren't just visual. They conveyed information, a language of pure concept that bypassed her linguistic limitations and spoke directly to her mind. She understood. The tunnels, the hollow ways, as they were mentally conveyed to her, were not of this world. They were ancient pathways, a network built by a civilization long gone, designed to connect worlds, to facilitate travel across unimaginable distances. The crystalline structure was a nexus, a hub, a terminal for these cosmic highways. The projections showed the builders, beings of pure energy, who had traversed the galaxy, seeding life, observing, and then, for reasons unknown, departing. They had left behind this infrastructure, dormant, waiting for a species to reach a certain level of technological and perhaps spiritual advancement. Yuki felt a profound sense of awe and humility. Humanity, with all its wars and achievements, was but a speck in a vast, interconnected cosmos. The hollow ways were proof of that, a silent testament to a grandeur beyond human comprehension. She spent what felt like an eternity in the cavern, absorbing the knowledge, the history, the sheer scope of what she had discovered. The builders hadn't just built tunnels, they had created a library, a testament, a legacy. Eventually, the projections began to fade, and the symphony of pulses softened. A sense of gentle finality settled upon the cavern. The builders, or their automated systems, had shared what they intended. It was time for her to return. She stepped back into the swirling light, the transition as seamless as before. She found herself back in the maintenance shaft, the dull thrum of Tokyo's subway, a stark contrast to the cosmic symphony she had just experienced. Her equipment registered no anomalies, no residual energy signatures. The tunnel entrance was once again a smooth, impenetrable wall. Yuki Tanaka emerged from the subway shaft, a changed woman. She had seen the impossible. She carried within her the knowledge of the hollow ways, a secret that was both a burden and a gift. She knew she could never truly explain what she had witnessed, not in a way that would be believed. But she also knew that humanity was not alone, and that the universe was far more wondrous and mysterious than anyone dared to imagine. The hollow ways were there, beneath the feet of millions, a silent, waiting network, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay just beyond the veil of the known. She would dedicate her life to understanding what she had glimpsed, to finding a way to communicate the truth, even if it was only to herself. The Tuesday that the first tunnel appeared was the day the world, for Yuki Tanaka, truly began,